Well, I think the big thing is knowing your clientele is first, the foremost thing. And as the marketing person here, I know that the majority of our clientele is going to be a Mason, a gentleman, you know, probably of a particular age, maybe, 55 or up. Um, so we actually market, and how we do it is we do 3 magazines a year. One is a child-oriented magazine. The next one's going to be a widow or a woman-oriented magazine, and the next one's going to be a male-oriented magazine. Now, it's not that they can't cross over, but they're all resource information. So I may have something in there about, you know, making sure your grandchild's okay, or making sure your child is okay in the child's magazine. And in the widows, we always interview a widow and put in there what it means for us to support them and what the support of the Masonic fraternity means. I mean, some of these ladies, we've been helping for many years, living in a place that they've chose to live close to their family, and it means a lot to them because the families couldn't do this if we weren't here and paying that bill. So, some of the campaigns that some of the assisted care facilities right now are undertaking are pretty neat because they're showing people that would be my parents' age and showing them very active and very out there, like playing golf or not doing their lawn because somebody else is doing their lawn for them. But it's a great way to advertise that way. Just because you hit a certain age doesn't mean it's time to hang everything up. I mean, my mom and dad play golf 4 times a week. Looking at them, you would never guess that they're 76, 78 years old. They love it. And they're at that point where they're thinking about, you know what, we're tired of mowing. We're tired of having upkeep on a house. So they may make that next life choice, which is to put themselves into a place, maybe an older adult community. And they're going to look for a place that's going to meet their needs, which is, okay, I gave up my home, so I don't want to mow the lawn. Who's mowing my lawn? I am going to have my grandkids come visit. Is there a playground? But I don't want it too loud because I don't want to be interrupted with children screaming all day long. So there's certain things I think that people are doing right now. I think it's becoming more accepted in today's society of making your own choices of where you want to be as you age.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who want to age in place. Well, that's the way to do it. I mean, are there facilities that you can go to that you're still active? You can still drive your car. You could leave whenever you need to, but you might need help taking your medicine. So can a nurse come by and give you your medicine, or just give you a phone call and remind you? And then as you get a little older, you might move around the corner, and okay, so you're not driving anymore, but do they have a shuttle bus that'll take you to the grocery store? Okay, they do. And then maybe you make that next move, which is around another corner of the same facility that you chose. And they're making really good choices about that, and they're marketing that more. They're showing people that you don't have to keep just moving and moving and moving. You can find a place and age in place.
Intriguing.
So, yeah, I think, in my parents' case, because they are in their almost 80s, that's what they're going to be looking for. I mean, they're very active. Gosh, they would never think about giving up their car. They don't need to. But somebody needs to remind them, take your medicine. Or, hey, we're going out to bingo tonight. Do you want to go with us? We're going to carpool together in the van. And then they feel safer at night, not having to drive. So I think there's a big push as far as I can see. Assisted care facilities are really taking those things into consideration. I think even local, as far as down to the town, marketing is a must, because you have a lot of smaller communities that are very tied to tradition. I think about this, like, from my viewpoint from the American Red Cross. I actually had a chapter in Audrain and Montgomery County, and they were very tied to that chapter. I mean, very tied. Anything I needed, I got, because I would just ask. I needed a reliable vehicle for my volunteers to get to fires. One of the local car dealerships gave us one. I mean, they understood that we had to have a reliable vehicle. The Red Cross went to this thing called community programs, where they decided to take away those smaller chapters because they didn't feel like they were making any money. They felt that going to, like, St. Louis, and St. Louis covering 25 counties, because St. Louis had more equipment than we did, so they had the reliable stuff. It really caused a problem because Mexico was so tied to their chapter. They got very upset. and they stopped giving because they didn't want their money going to St. Louis. Well,
Right.
they didn't understand that you're still going to get helped. Even if the money's going to St. Louis, it's actually going into a bigger pot, and it's going to be, you'll still have volunteers here in Mexico. People that, you went to school with will still come to your fires. They're going to have more access to more vehicles and more training that our little chapter couldn't afford to do. Because, going to training, you had to send them on an airplane. Well, they can do the training there in St. Louis and get it, and they'll pay them to come up there and do it, or send them in their own reliable vehicle. And so it was kind of I think they maybe not had done such a great job as far as like educating people. So there was a lot of problems. They lost a lot of volunteers, they lost a lot of fundraisers. A lot of gifts were not given because they were afraid it was all going to go to St. Louis, but they didn't understand that it was actually a good thing.
Yeah.